Hello dear students, hope you are all fine and happy. Students, in this session of English, we will discuss how to solve the comprehension passages within minutes and that too with utmost accuracy. So let's get started. Students, comprehension passages or unseen passages are the understanding tests that evaluate the understanding of the students in the exam. In this video, we will talk about the three important factors for solving the unseen passages. So the very first factor is after which section the unseen passage or comprehension passage should be done. Number two, how to solve the unseen passage and in how many minutes it should be completed. Number three, how to locate the words, and they may be synonyms or antonyms, means the similar words or the opposite words asked in the questions from the passage. So, out of these three factors, we will first of all talk about after which section the unseen passage or comprehension passage should be done and how much time should be taken to solve the unseen passage. Students, it would not be wrong if I say reading section is more difficult than the other two sections. I would say that it constantly gives you the frowns, especially when you come across those long passages. Isn't it? Students, the unseen passages are always unpredictable and even the marks cannot be predicted. You cannot predict your marks at all. Do you agree? Okay. And if suppose the passages are lengthy, then it becomes more difficult to solve them. The more lengthy the passages, the more difficult it becomes. But sometimes even the short passage tries to have a lot of intricacies in it. It tends to be very difficult to comprehend. Therefore, in exams, you are given 15 minutes extra to go through the entire question paper and the passages too. So dear students, you should always utilize those 15 minutes in reading and trying to understand the passages. You should make full use of those 15 minutes given to you for reading the question paper. And now students, let me tell you when should the reading section be done. Students, you should begin writing your exam with literature section. And after that, you should come to the writing section. And why to start with literature? It is because literature, being your own section, will not take much of your time. Your own section means you're always familiar with the type of questions you would be getting to answer, since you go learning all the lessons well, right? And finally, you should move on to the reading section. So in this way, in your exam, you should keep these three sections in order. And how many questions you get to solve in the reading section? You get only 2 questions, one of 8 marks and the other of 12 marks. So in reading section, you get 2 passages to solve, one discursive and the other factual. And if we talk about the allotment of the time to both, then you should devote 15 minutes time to each. That means for solving the 2 passages, you will have 30 minutes with you. And within 30 to 35 minutes, you should solve the 2 unseen passages. Fine. So I hope it is clear to you that reading section should be picked up after the completion of the literature section and the writing section. And only 30 to 35 minutes time should be given to solve both the passages. Fine. Okay. And now I will talk about the main thing, and that is how to answer the questions asked in the passage. You know, for solving the unseen passages, we always follow the traditional approach. Now, what is the traditional approach? Students, the traditional approach says to read the complete passage first of all. Not only once, but twice. According to the traditional approach, the passages should at least be read twice, and besides reading, the difficult words, phrases, and important information should also be marked or underlined lightly with a pencil. And then the questions should be answered, that too in the end. Students solving passage is never a rocket science for the children who have good command in English. They easily solve the passages. But the children who are weak in English, they always face difficulty in solving the passages. And for them, it is a Herculean task. They find the passages very difficult and they get nervous. Students, if you are not prone to solving comprehensions or passages, then you should altogether ignore the traditional approach for a minute and should follow another approach. And this other approach is only to make the passages easy so that you are able to solve them within minutes and with utmost accuracy. Undoubtedly, it will be wrong to say so, but this approach will definitely help you to some extent. So, which is that approach that should be adopted? And that approach is to read the questions of the passage before reading or going through the passage. It is very important to have a look at the questions, like what are they looking for, what answers they are expecting you to come up with. So the minute you start doing your reading section, you are suggested to begin reading the questions first and not the passage. That means you will have to start from the bottom and not from the top. So always and always you should go through the questions before reading the passage. And now the question arises, why to read the questions first? Students, this will prepare you to focus on the things you need to look. And now, what is the logic behind this? And the logic behind this is very simple. Actually, the language of the passage is more difficult than the questions asked in the passage. And sometimes the vocabulary used in the passage bounces over your head. Hope I am right? I mean to say that you do not understand the words and the phrases used in the passages, right? Whereas you find the language of the questions pertaining to the passages much easier than the language of the passage. The questions do not have the tough words at all. Not a single tough word is used in asking the questions. So, in that case, if you read the questions first before reading the passage, it will help you to know the tone and the gist of the passage. The structure and the flow of the passage will quickly come into your mind, and that will also be a time-saving effort for you. So, questions can be easily understood. Moreover, students, reading the questions before reading the passage will not only create an interest in you, but will also help you to understand the passage properly. And thereafter, you will easily be able to find the accurate answers too. And now, how to answer the questions asked in the passage. So, while reading the passage, keep underlining the portion of the sentences or the words that will help you answer the questions asked against the passage. And further, if you find difficulty in the vocabulary, so dear students, do not disturb yourselves because of the words. Rather, disturb the vocabulary. So for that, do not find out its Hindi word, but do try to understand its meaning through the context. That simply means you don't have to find out the literal Hindi meaning of the word. Dear students, kindly note that you would never be able to understand anything properly if you would keep trying to understand it with the help of its literal Hindi meaning. Means you should never try to find out the Hindi translation of the words. Rather, you should try to understand the words related to the passage in English itself. And how? So for this, I would give you an example here. Just suppose that in the passage it is written, he extracted information from the office. Now, here in this sentence, students, you know the meaning of he, you know the meaning of information, and you know the meaning of office also. But you don't know the meaning of the word extracted. Am I right? So it should not matter much for you. You can understand it like this, that he extracted the information from the office. And you keep the word extracted with you in your mind. And even if you do not know its meaning, no problem at all. You again make yourself understand that he extracted the information from the office. And then as you would move further reading the passage, you will slowly and gradually keep getting the words that would be closely related to the word extracted, or even the similar words that would definitely help you to understand the meaning of the word you wanted to know or you wanted to find out. And here I would like to tell you the meaning of the word extracted, and the meaning is to get. So it means he got the information from the office. Students, one more thing I would remind you, that never copy your answer from the passage. You will not get full marks for that. Rather, they would be deducted. It would always be better to write the answers in your own words. Your marks won't be deducted for that, because the comprehension passage is always meant to evaluate your understanding. So the examiner always wishes to know your understanding pertaining to the passage. He won't see your grammar. I do not also mean to say that whatever you would write would be correct. I just want to say that do not lift portions straight from the passage at all for answering the questions, because you would not be benefited at all because of that. Rather, you would be penalized. So, it will always be better to answer the questions as per your own understanding. And now, one more important thing. Do not leave the unseen passage undone. Never, because it decides your percentage. So, again, understand that your answers should be in your own language. So, this is all for today. I hope you've understood and things are quite clear to you. Thank you.